Tonight with the big story, shot in the line of duty.
2 Monroe police officers recovering after they say a man opened fire.
Now this all started at an apartment complex on Washington Street between South Monroe Street and East 7th Street. Those 2 officers arriving on the scene after a call from a maintenance man who was reporting a man with a gun. 7 Action News breaking this story with a push alert, and all day long our team of reporters have been on the scene bringing you new information, live updates on social media. We have Team 7 coverage. We're going to start with 7 Action News reporter Brian Abel with new information. Brian.
The new information we learned in just the last 15 minutes or so that both officers are now out of the hospital after being shot at this apartment complex here. 2 officers in Monroe shot at this apartment complex just before 9:30.
Shots fired out there.
It's a call you never want to get.
Investigators say the situation started with a confrontation between an armed tenant and a maintenance worker.
There was some type of physical assault that happened between those 2.
The man was arguing with pest control. He did not remove the weapon from the holster. The other half called in, identified himself as Simba Lion, stated that the landlord was supposed to come and spray for roaches and instead started fighting with him.
Can you call him back and see if he will put the gun up prior to the officers getting there?
We did instruct him to, and he refused. He said he'll keep it in his holster.
They had separated. The officers responded with a tactical response, made contact with the tenant somewhere in the hallway. Some type of a struggle occurred. The suspect fired several shots.
725 Washington.
We need 2 ambulances right away.
Clear 2 ambulances.
Suspect secured. We have an officer hit. L3's been hit.
And tonight we're learning more about the suspect.
Suspect is a 40-year-old male.
And we also just learned that suspect still in custody, still in surgery as well for multiple gunshot wounds. Michigan State Police are now handling this investigation. Reporting live in Monroe, Brian Abel, 7 Action News.
All right, Brian, thank you for updating us.
Our Team 7 coverage continues with Simon Chiquette, also live in Monroe, where he spoke with a witness.
And Simon, we expect that woman is extremely shaken up by what she heard.
Glenda Allen, exactly. Both women we talked to say they heard more than a dozen gunshots out here, and the person taken into custody was someone they were very familiar with. The sound was something Stella Burkett says she will never forget.
Arguing like 20 minutes before I heard the gunshots go off.
And at just after 9 a.m., a noise that startled her and the rest of the floor.
I thought they were firecrackers. I really didn't know.
Stella tells us she lives here at Washington Arms, where 2 Monroe police officers were shot and where her neighbor also was shot several times with return fire. She was on the floor just below.
Bad news. I don't really know what to think, 'cause it's horrible.
She and other witnesses, along with neighbors, allegedly saw trouble signs before this. A quiet man just a couple doors down, known to display his handgun openly. The same gun he allegedly used today after assaulting 2 maintenance workers who had called 911.
We got to do something about gun control, you know. I mean, it's getting out of hand.
For Jonah Fichettia, the pain of what happened to brave first responders is made worse because she knew them both personally. They were the same ones she's known for years and always felt looked out for her. For now, those 2 officers recovering from non-life-threatening injuries will be the focus of prayers and so many wishes, and a sudden and violent altercation that did not have to happen still has not been explained.
Multiple gunshots. You know, everybody's saying they heard about 20 gunshots.
Throughout the day, we've heard from a lot of folks who value and appreciate their police officers. They now hope to see them make a full recovery. Reporting live in Monroe, Simon Chiquette, 7 Action News. Back to you.
As do we. Thank you so much, Simon.